Hi everyone, welcome to the channel, and in today's video we're going to be tying a variation of the Vicar buzzer. This one has got a collar of pearl mylar tinsel, so we'll call it the pearl Vicar buzzer. So you can see one in the vise at the moment, and as ever before tying it we'll discuss the dressing. So hook size is 10s, 12s or 14s. Tying silk is 6/0 for a 10 or 12, and probably an 8/0 for a size 14. The collar is mylar pearl tinsel, and a coating of UV resin finishes it off. So let's get this changed out and we can crack on with tying it. So there you go. I will say this is a number of variants of the Vicar buzzer I have in my box, and there'll be a couple more videos coming with those examples in them. And it always pays to have a variation in your box of a known pattern, so that if you get in half-hearted takes or no response, then you know it's always good to provide the fish with a bit of a change, because if people have been catching on those flies, and it's particularly prevalent nowadays when you've got catch and release, the fish know that if they take a certain pattern it bites back, so they tend to nibble at the fly, half-hearted takes. So that's why variants are always good. So anyway, if you've watched any of my other videos, you'll know I start the tying silk just behind the eye when I'm tying buzzers, and I take it down to the bend in close touching turns. So we'll get there shortly. So once at the bend, take off the waist, and then I also take several extra turns, 4, 5, 6, 7, just to hook that tying silk around the back, and then once again go back up in close touching turns to the tying point for the collar material. And in this instance it's just over halfway and amounts to probably about 20 turns of tying silk between where the tying silk is now and the hook eye. So let me get some pearl mylar, and what I do is I just tie that in and then tie it in all the way up to the eye. There you go. And what we do is we take one full turn and then carry on up the hook shank. Once we get close to the eye, one wrap to lock it in, and then pull it backwards towards the bend to take it down further. Now when I go back, as I said, it's 20 turns between where the collar starts and the hook eye, and I'm aiming to go back down around about 15 turns, so that leaves me with a nice collar that defines actually what the Vicar buzzer is. So let me go back up to the eye, back down, and finally back up. And once we're back at the eye, all I do is quick whip finish, or at least 7 turns, just to form a really nice head, going back up onto the thorax. Okay, so the thing about these buzzers is that they provide an impression. You know, there's a long thorax with a slight kick to it. The collar provides the impression of wing cases, and the bubble at the front gives the impression of a nice thorax. They're quick to tie, that's the thing about them, so you can fill a box with these flies and they'll all be equally effective. So anyway, what I'm doing on here is I'm adding some UV resin, leave that sit there for a second, grab my dubbing needle, and then I'll start spreading it backwards. If you haven't put enough on, you can always add more, and the use of a rotary vise is always good because it makes this job easier, and they're well worth the investment. So just spread that out and ensure that it's sufficient. So I need a little bit more on the bottom, it hasn't quite gone there, so and that's it, more or less done. Quick check that I haven't missed any areas. No, that's absolutely fine. And a zap with the UV torch. And that is the UV, no, pardon my expression, that is the pearl Vicar buzzer. So if you've enjoyed the video, drop a like. If you want to see future videos, subscribe to the channel. If you don't want to do either of those, but if you enjoyed the video, you're very welcome. Hey, thanks for watching.